your scuba gear on. Let's go swim with the dolphins.
Oh, here they come! Dolphins are perfectly adapted to their environment. They have nothing to do but swim and play all day. They have massive brains. They're incredibly intelligent. If dolphins bought insurance, they'd choose High House.
High House Insurance don't pay to be on comparison websites, so your premiums are better value. Try us and see. Call 606 552. High House, local reliable insurance. High Street, Selsey.
And as a special treat, we have What's On, and we have my colleague Keith Barnes. Hello, Keith. Go for it.
Morning, Dennis. Yes, I wish you hadn't have sacked all the staff or let them go on holiday altogether or whatever. Anyway, I'm going to do What's On this week. So if there's any mistakes in it, I can edit them out. There we go. Right, Tuesday the 19th, St Peter's Fellowship will meet in St Peter's Church, where Deirdre Hogarth and friends will be showing more of their lovely quilt making. Cost to non-members is £1.50, including refreshments. And contact Veronica Holloway on 607 356 for further details of time, etc. The Venture Bus, if a member, is there to transport you, and give them a call on 605 115. And Tuesday the 19th again, the Carers Support Group at 109 High Street will be holding a coffee morning at 10:30am, and everyone's welcome. On Wednesday the 20th of May, the Crafty Natter Club will meet at the large hall of the Selsey Methodist Church from 2pm till 4pm. Entrance is just £1, and you are welcome to take along any projects you may be working on and have a cup of tea and a biscuit and enjoy a natter while you work. The Venture Bus available, of course, if you're a member. Wednesday evening of the 20th, the Selsey Folk and Music Club meet at 7:30pm in St Wilfrid's Church Hall. And just go along there where you can sing or play or just listen and relax and have a drink and generally enjoy a bit of music. So if you're a musical person, pop along to St Wilfrid's Church Hall at 7:30 on the 20th and listen to the Selsey Folk and Music Club.
Yeah, and I think they want a few donations if you've got them of a new
Yes, that's absolutely true, Dennis. Anybody's got any bongos that the kids are driving them bonkers with, or maracas that need a shake,
or a beat-up drum machine.
Oh, yeah, beat-up drum machine, anything. If you can take that along, they'd be most appreciative.
Okay.
On Thursday the 21st of May, Link, that's the Ladies in Contact, and I'm sure that should be Lick, not Link, but there we go. That brings on all other sorts of connotations. Link, Ladies in Contact, will meet in St Peter's Church Hall at 7:15pm. Rodri Lewis from the Chichester Records Office will be giving a talk entitled Treasures in Store. And the cost for the evening is just £1.50, which includes coffee or tea and a free raffle ticket. And all ladies are most welcome. Give Mary Grantham a call on 604 718 or Beryl Fletcher on 603 750 for further details, and the Venture Bus is available to members. On Friday the 22nd of May, the next meeting of Selsey U3A takes place at the Selsey Centre. The doors open at 2pm and the meeting starts at 2:30. Speaker will be John Cooper, who is Keeper of Natural Sciences at Brighton and Hove Museum, and he will be talking about amber, a window from the past. More information can be found on their website, that's selseyu3a.org.uk. Friday the 22nd, something now for the younger generation after school. East Beach Evangelical Church in Maresfield Place hold a weekly youngsters club called Bright Sparks, suitable for those of primary school ages, and that's from 5 till 6pm, and the cost is just 50p. Saturday 23rd of May, the first Selsey Scouts Group shop will be open in School Lane from 10 till 12 noon, where bric-a-brac, books, clothes, etc. can be purchased. Sunday the 24th of May, Selsey Model Boat Club will be meeting at the pond on East Beach, weather permitting, where members sail their radio-controlled boats. Times are from 10 until noon on both Sundays and Wednesdays, and new members are most welcome, or maybe just go along and have a look and a chat and find out about it. On Monday the 25th of May, Spring Bank Holiday, St Peter's annual Spring Fair is being held from 12 noon to 3pm, and the entrance is 50p, and 16 years of age and under go free. There'll be still band entertainment together with a variety of stalls a bouncy castle, lunches, strawberry tea tent, plant sales and many more, including St Peter's Dog Show. So please contact Richard Wheeler for further information and entry forms for the dog show on 07719 735 852. And again on Monday, the 25th of May, the carers will be holding their Springbank Holiday car boot sale to be held at the Academy in School Lane from 7:30am till 1pm. Always a well-attended event, especially at the holiday time, so get yourself down there and snap up a bargain. And also on the 25th, Selsey Walking and Outdoor Festival commences, and that's from the 25th to the 31st, a week-long celebration of the great outdoors. Find out more at www.swof.co.uk, and please note that SWOF is in capitals, uppercase letters. And finally, the Friends of Selsey Medical Centre have asked us to let you know that the annual general meeting will take place in the medical centre on Saturday the 6th of June at 10:30am. Please note this is for members only. Membership Secretary Mrs Leslie Webber on 606 878 can be contacted for any further information. And thanks for all for listening, and that's about it for this week.
Well, thanks, Keith. I think we got away with that one.
We will have done by the end of it, Dennis. Thank you very much.
Absolutely fine. Bye-bye.
Bye. In the studio with me today, I have Thea Foote, local amateur playwright. And Thea's going to be putting on a new show in August, or a new play in August. So, Thea, tell us a little bit about the play. Now, you've written two. Obviously, you've written two because this is the third in a trilogy.
Yes.
When were these performed?
Well, the last one we did would have been 2013. And again, before that, another couple of years, it would have been 2011.
Okay. So every couple of years we're going...
It basically, if I give you the basic idea, it is set in a retirement home for older actors, performers, singers, dancers. There is a very famous one.
There is.
And this is the same idea. The first one, they were very low, and then along came a drag artist who decided that he would like to take these people and give them work, basically, without paying, of course. And so they became part of his show. In the meantime, they have a security guard who is there basically to stop all the fans, who probably wouldn't know them now anyway. And it turns out in the end, one of them is murdered. And the murderer is the security guard.
Right.
So he's arrested and taken off. The next play, it starts really with a radio interview with the arresting officer, and Sunbeam is the name of the security guard, being interviewed in jail. At the time, the investigating officer, the man who did the arrest, actually collapses and it dies over the radio.
Oh, right.
Well, you know the feeling.
I do indeed. I do indeed.
Anyway, it's all very, very silly. But Sunbeam escapes, he goes back to the residential home, creates chaos there, and eventually it turns out that the detective inspector wasn't dead after all. So he comes back and rearrests him. So number 3, we've set it in the same home, and Sunbeam has just gone for appeal to the courts, and I won't tell you any more about it.
No, it's excellent.
Oh, they are planning a show. They're going to do all singing, all dancing, Midsummer Night's Dream.
And that'd be interesting itself, yeah. Yes, indeed.
But it's going to be done in the local prison, using prisoners as a form of therapy.
Yeah.
And I think that's enough.
Yes, I think so probably too. Otherwise, the listeners will be needing therapy to make head or tail of it. And this show is going to be put on the
21st and 22nd,
21st,
a Friday and a Saturday.
21st and
August.
22nd of August as part of the festival in the town hall. And so we'd love you all to come along and have a look. And now you've got some idea what the first 2 plays are about. You won't feel so left out seeing the last one of the trilogy. So we look forward to seeing you there, and I look forward to seeing it, Thea. I'm very interested. You got me reeled right in now. And thank you very much for coming in.
Well, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
I've enjoyed it.
Thanks, Thea. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
In the studio with me now I have Mike Nicholls, and Mike's going to be giving us a few updates from Selsey Information Exchange, letting us know what's going on and what's available. Mike, over to you.
Thank you, Keith, very much. I think the first thing I wanted to share is that the Selsey Information Exchange in Penny Lane has, through the kindness of some volunteers, just been painted, and it means you need sunglasses really when you go in. It's a nice bright colour, and we got 1 or 2 new bits of furniture to make it welcoming for the visitors and tourists and locals that we try and help. And we are now opening 7 days a week in order to complement what's available for others at the library and the town hall, but especially at weekends and bank holidays to be available for folk when they want information.
I have to say, Mike, I know it's not easy to get volunteers to man the place, but it is a long time coming really, and it's got to be a benefit for people, especially at weekends. You know, you get visitors come to the town, they want to know what's going on and where it's going on, so that, especially with the season coming up, as it were, you know, coming towards the summer and what have you. And I think it'll be a great idea to be open 7 days a week. So
well, we should certainly be attempting it. And we also have a lot of information outside that people can take that's free of charge. And people do pick up local magazines and information leaflets and so on to help them, as you say, enjoy their stay.
Is there a sign outside that says Selsey Information Exchange is in there?
It's above the access to Penny Lane.
It's above the access.
And there is another sign above the Information Exchange, and we also have a little A-board that we keep outside and hope that no one will complain about it.
Yes. Yeah. you know what it's like when you're local. You walk around, you know where these places are, and so you don't look for signage. But
no. We just tell people we're next to Grumpy's Cafe, where they make a good cup of coffee that keeps us going.
They certainly do.
Okay, the second thing I wanted just to mention is that we keep in the Information Exchange a community diary, and it's also available online at the Selsey Information Exchange website, that just sets down for the whole of this year the events that are planned any day of the year. And it just means that anyone who's planning an event can have a look at that and see that they're not going to clash with something else, and just make a good kind of date to be fixed so that they've got that information.
Well, I know that's invaluable information because I did a charity fundraiser earlier in the year, and that nearly clashed until I checked. And this time of the year, of course, it's so much easier to clash because there's so much going on.
Indeed, and we work closely obviously with people who organise the summer festival and so on, just to make sure that every event can have its maximum attendance and exposure, and a lot of them are for fundraising, and so that benefits the town too.
So to any event organisers out there, this is an invaluable tool. So
yeah,
make the most of it.
I think out of the Information Exchange there are a number of forums that are run locally where we invite people to come together to look at certain issues and to plan together and organise projects together. One of them is the Care Forum that's held monthly, and that brings together representatives of some of the organisations that help support our vulnerable older people. And people may not know, but there's a wonderful job done by our community warden, Carol McClung, who, if she's alerted to anyone who's in any kind of need, she will gladly go and visit them and support them, and then inform others of what may be needed. It might just be a visitor, or it might be the fire brigade going in to do a little inspection, and you know, those kind of things. Yeah. Just helps to make sure that those who are most vulnerable among us are appropriately cared for.
And she's a very approachable lady.
Indeed.
We've had her in the studio before, and you know, people really should contact her, and you know, if they've got problems, contact Carol. She'll help you get things sorted out.
And if you're not sure, she's always available in her office at the fire station when she's at work. Just going on from that, as well as a number of forums, we run occasionally a community forum. We've got one next Wednesday at 4:15 at the Academy School. We only meet for an hour, but it's a roundtable conversation, sharing news of what's happening, what's being planned, and we normally have some sort of topic that we look at. And next week we're going to be a bit ambitious and ask the question, can a community develop with harmony? We're just conscious that some topics, like the development of housing and so on, which, although a challenge to a community, do actually bring financial resources into a community. So there are two sides of the coin. Is it possible for that kind of thing to be handled in such a way that people can discuss its benefits and its difficulties or challenges without forming lobby groups and falling out with each other? Those kind of things might sound a little bit theoretical, but we're going to have a go and see where we get to.
That'll raise a few comments, I'm sure it will.
As long as they're harmonious ones, we don't mind.
I'm not so sure about that. But,
anyway, it's a good-hearted attempt to see how we can, together as a community, just improve some of these aspects of our life. The final thing I really wanted to just mention was to draw attention to folk of a development that's taken place on the site of the Academy School. Through their kindness, they've made available to the Youth Dream charity an old caretaker's bungalow, which through a lot of volunteer effort and generosity has been converted into a youth support centre. And we're now into our 5th week of operation. There are youth workers based there and other volunteers, and we're running a whole series of programmes that are for the benefit of individuals and also for groups, helping basically around those issues of life: self-esteem, self-confidence, aspiration, preventing harm, developing relationships, all those things that make you ready for the workplace and get you going again when you've fallen over and so on. And we're already beginning to get not only a lot of referrals from the school, but from the doctor's surgery and others who feel that young people can be supported in this kind of way. Complementing the work that's done at Snack Shack and through the uniformed organisations and the sports clubs and the drama groups and so on. It's just another contribution to try and make life good for the 1,200 young people who are educated in Selsey.
And we'd just like to clarify, this is not replacing the Snack Shack.
No, it's a complement to it. It's another facility. No, the Snack Shack still operates 2 nights a week when anyone can drop in. Very often they will have through the week up to 80 or 90 young people, and it's a place where they can connect and talk and chill and share their concerns. And then the Bridge is a place where some of those needs and concerns can be met. So they complement one another perfectly. Yeah.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's nice to know we're looking after the youngsters and I say youngsters only because I'm so old, but the younger people of Selsey.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, mate. Well, thanks for coming in and updating us and all that, mate, and I'm sure you'll be in again in about 4 weeks' time to give us further updates, or maybe even
Thank you
before.
very much for having me.
Pleasure, always a pleasure. Right, my next guests in the studio today are Irene Clark and Dave Cassom, and Irene and Dave run the Old Gardens Rescue Centre, and you can correct me with the title in a minute, the Old Gardens Rescue Centre down at Sidlesham. Now, I came across this place purely by accident some months ago, and when I drove in there, because everybody refers to it as the egg place, right, because you can go there and buy fresh eggs, that much I do know. And so I went in search of the egg place, and what I found was this wonderful rescue centre with all manner of animals and birds and things being looked after, and I was just amazed. And so I thought, well, I'd like to talk to these people and find out exactly what goes on down there. So Irene, how long has this, give me the correct title because I know I've got it wrong, but it's the Old Gardens
Animal Rescue Centre.
Animal Rescue Centre. Well, that was fairly easy, wasn't it? And how long's it been going?
We actually started nearly 13 years ago now.
Did you really? And what do you rescue? Because it seems to me there were an awful lot of animals down there, some of which I wouldn't have thought were the rescue type animals, because I certainly saw sheep, but are they just sheep that you keep?
Yeah, they was actually sheep that was going to be slaughtered.
Oh, right.
From babies.
Oh, so they were rescued then. That's incredible. And I know you've got countless birds down there, because I've got an aviary myself, and so I was eyeing up your stock, as it were. But so for 13 years you've had this little gem tucked away down in Sidlesham.
Yeah.
So you better tell everybody exactly where it is, because I've only ever known it as the egg place.
We're actually in Harley Road, Sidlesham.
Okie dokie. And what times are you open?
We're open every day except a Tuesday, 9 till 4.
Okay, so that's weeks, Saturdays and Sundays as well.
Yeah, we're open weekends as well.
9 o'clock till 4 o'clock. And I will reiterate, you can get some fabulous fresh eggs down there. Apart from other things, now I believe it's all run on donation, is it?
Yeah, everything's run on donation.
Well, you people out there listening to this need to make some more donations, because there's an awful lot of animals and birds to look after down there. And what I would suggest is that you actually go down and have a look and see what's being done. You'll be amazed. If you've never been there, you will be amazed, because it was tucked out of the way, and it's a little hidden gem. And you can take your kids down there, and the kids can see the animals and the birds, and you can be right close up. There's all manner of chickens that I saw when I was there. There are sheep, and I guess these things change regularly.
Yeah, we've got goats, sheep, pigs, peacocks, guinea fowl, ducks, geese, dogs,
Now,
cats.
how long do these animals stay with you? I mean, you've rescued them. And
Yeah.
You've rescued the sheep from being slaughtered, and probably the same for the pigs. And so how long do they... The one thing I didn't see when I was down there was a pig.
Stanley.
Sorry?
He's called Stanley.
Stanley, is it?
Yeah.
Because my wife is pig mad. She loves pigs, and she was quite disappointed because we didn't see the pig.
Oh, if you called him, he would have come out.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I said he's going to be in there somewhere, so I shall try that next time. I shall get her down there and call him. And how long do they stay with you? Do you just keep them?
Well, Stanley, the sheep and the goat, they stay with us forever because they're so old now.
Oh, right, yeah.
So we keep them. We do try and find homes for a lot of the chickens and ducks and geese.
Yeah.
But
And
we've got
there's-
some really old ones that stay there till they die.
They'll just stay with you now.
Yeah.
So it must be very difficult to think about getting rid of them. It's
Yeah.
easy to decide to take them in, but then once you got them in, you've got to keep them. And
Especially the dogs.
I mean, just feeding them alone it must cost a fortune to
Yeah.
feed all the animals and the stuff that you got there. And because you do it full time, that's what you do. I would certainly take my hat off to you and say I think you're doing a remarkable job.
Thank you.
And I would urge people to, when you're thinking about giving away a few bob for charity, think about this one. But go down there and have a look. And if you can come away without putting your hand in your pocket and either buying something out of the little shed, either the eggs or some of the other items that they've got for sale in there, or actually just making a donation, if you can come away without doing that, then you're a hard-hearted so-and-so, and you're much tougher than I am, that's for sure. So how did this all start then, Irene? I mean, was it something you always wanted to do, or was it something that you started,
Yeah, we've always had animals, like since I was a little girl we had monkeys, goats, and my granddad had a big farm. And then my brother Johnny decided he'd want to start it up because we went to a battery farm and saw how they was treated. So he said we should start something up and try rescue and see how we go on. And it just progressed from there. It just got bigger and
just
bigger.
snowballed. And of course, I suppose packing it up is very difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you've got animals then that if you decide to pack up, they need rescuing from you. They need to go somewhere.
They do the same for ducks as well. They got battery farms for ducks.
Now, see, I
People
didn't know
don't
that.
really realise.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that, I have to say. Now, I understand, I mean, it's free of charge. You can take your kids down there, you can see the animals, you can buy little packets of food and the kids can wander around and feed the chickens and the ducks and what have you. And it doesn't cost anything. Now, why would you not go there? You would only not go there because you don't know where it is or you couldn't find it. That's why I haven't been there before. But it's just down past the primary school in Harley Lane, and it's open from 9 till 4 every day except Tuesday. So do yourself a favour, on a nice day, get your kids and take them down there, or even just go yourself, leave the kids at home. Put the kids in rescue. But yeah, you can go down there and take the children round, and they can buy a little bag of feed, and they can go around and feed the chicken and the ducks. And then perhaps children will understand that chickens don't actually come in polythene bags off a shelf in Tesco's, and there are other stores available. So, good idea for a weekday when the kids are off school. Just don't forget, coming up in the not too distant future, the kids are going to be off school for about 7 weeks. And you're going to need something to do in that time. Now, I guess the school holidays, you must get busier, do you?
Yeah, the kids come in and they can see the little chicks and that hatching.
Yeah, because this time of year is good for that.
Yeah.
I know my own birds in my aviary are nesting and laying eggs profusely.
And we donate eggs to the kids' primary schools so that they can experience hatching the eggs and having the chicks.
So it really is a hidden gem, and I would just like to say thank you to Irene and Dave for coming in and giving us a bit of information about this place. And now I just hope that you'll get out there and find it and take your children down there and let them experience, feeding live chickens instead of feeding off of dead ones. Well, thanks Irene, thanks Dave, and I hope to be seeing you again in the not too distant future.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Hi and welcome once again to Keithy's Kitchen. Today we have another fish recipe for you. As I've said before on many occasions, I'm not a great fish lover, but there are certain fish that I will enjoy, and mackerel's probably one of them. So today we have grilled mackerel with sage sauce. Now this is a delicious way to serve mackerel, even if like me you're not a great fish lover, and it's also very quick and easy to prepare. Now this recipe will serve 4. So we need 4 mackerel cleaned, salt and freshly ground pepper, 150 ml or quarter of a pint of olive oil, 30 ml or 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 75 ml or 3 fluid ounces of dry white wine, and 75 ml or 3 fluid ounces once again of dried vermouth. And finally 5 millilitres or 1 teaspoon of very finely chopped fresh sage. I knew I'd get it out on the finish. And this is what we do. Cut the fins from the mackerel and cut 3 diagonal slits in the skin across both sides of the fish. Season the fish inside and out, then place in a dish large enough to hold them in a single layer. Mix the oil, lemon juice and wine together and pour over the fish. Cover and leave to marinate in a cool place for about 1.5 to 2 hours. Turning the fish occasionally so that it gets a chance for the marinade to get into it all. Remove the mackerel from the marinade. Cook under a hot grill for 5 to 8 minutes each side, depending on the thickness of the fish, until the flesh flakes easily. Transfer it to a warm dish, cover and keep hot. Carefully remove the oil from the top of the marinade. Pour the cooking juices into a saucepan, add the vermouth and sage leaves and simmer for 2 to 3 minutes. Season to taste and pour over the mackerel. Now, how easy is that? Can't be any easier than that. Lovely, tasty dish, and if you like mackerel, you'll really enjoy this. And that's it for this week. See you again soon. Bye-bye now.
And welcome to another edition of Video Watch with me, Dennis Cowan. And on this week's show we will have a top 20 listing from Reflex DVD and an optional top 10 provided by Andy at the Selsey off-license video rental section. Well, this week we start with Oblivion, a 2013 film. It's got a 12th certificate. It stars Tom Cruise and Morgan Freeman. This is a sci-fi film, basically, which, through its excellent production values, hots up and keeps the pace nicely going. Cruise plays a sort of security man who goes repairing unmanned capsules, you know, the sort of round things that fly around, that are armed and ready to deal with any emergency. Cruise disobeys certain commands, which eventually leads him into danger and having to confront himself as to who the enemy really is. We then go on to yet another sci-fi thing called Black Hole, which was made in 2005, and this has a PG certificate. This deals with antimatter, yes, the stuff in space that can suck things in. the dreaded black hole in space and an alien force that has a thirst for energy. It stars Judd Nelson and Christy Swanson, and it is directed by Tibor Takas, who has done many films and is a well-known director. As I said, it's a PG-rated film, so the kids can see this one. There's nothing terribly monstrous about it because it's mostly an electrical effect. It's not earth-breaking, but watchable and has reasonable acting. Right, then we now go on to Cop Out, 2010. And this has got a 15 certificate, mainly for the language, I would imagine, as it stars Bruce Willis in a fairly routine cop with buddy caper. Quite the usual fare from Willis with this one, who has done better films, I must add. Nevertheless, it's a decent average film for Willis fans. There's comedy and action and some bad language, as I've said. It's not one of his best. But if you've got some drinks there, and I mean fizzy drinks, if you've got some drinks there and your popcorns or crisps, you should be all right for about 90 minutes. Then we go on to Dinotopia, a kids thing really, with good creature effects. The story goes like a TV film really, and it's a PG certificate. It's actually in 2 parts lasting nearly 90 minutes each. The first half was the best, though, as it seemed to lose steam on the second half. For some reason, the story wasn't as strong. However, it is a bit like the 80s style Planet of the Apes. It stars Michael Brandon, a regular TV face of that time, and Jonathan Hyde of Jumanji fame and Titanic fame as an aristocratic mayor of an island that has dinosaurs living alongside humans, all except for one enemy, which is that familiar one, Tyrannosaurus Rex, the T-Rex monster. We then move along swiftly to sort of a monster type thing again. This is Dragon Dynasty, 2012. It's got a 15 certificate. It stars James Hong, who played a wizard in Big Trouble in Little China. I hope I got that one right. He's up against 2 evil dragons that are resurrected by his troublesome son, who does not like visitors from the West doing deals with his father. There are several films around in this vein dealing with knights and dragons, etc., and mostly budget and done in Ireland or Romania. This one isn't bad despite a dodgy script, and the effects are decent. So that one I can say, yes, watch it, but don't expect big bucks films out of this one. We then move on to Jack Reacher, 2012, starring Tom Cruise in his familiar agent-type role. This is a 15 certificate. The film is competent and has lots of the usual action. In this one, he plays a loner, an ex-military investigator who does things his own way, which is not unusual for Cruise. And there is a sniper held in custody after several people are shot dead out on the streets. He calls in the investigator to prove that he is the killer, which is an unusual way of coming at this. But Cruise suspects a rat and dives headlong into a conspiracy to convict the wrong man. So yes, this is a lot like several of his others, but it's still a good film because it has a big budget. We then come on to a horror film, I, Frankenstein. It's a 2013 film starring Aaron Eckhart. It's a 12 certificate, so there's some leeway for the kids on that one. But having said that, it is connected by references throughout the film to the Frankenstein book. The plot deals more with an eternal battle for man's soul and the angels, and Frankenstein's monster holds the key to the resurrection, etc., something they want to know about. And the baddies wanted to take over the earth, of course, with their demons. This one has great effects and plenty of action. Yes, this should be all right, yes, film. And when we go on to another little kind of horror thing, which isn't terribly horrific, but it's decent. This is a decent watch. And this is Altitude. It's got a 15 certificate. It's a 2010 film starring Jessica Lowndes. I think that's what it says. A teen flick in the vein of Final Destination, except this is all done in a light plane which becomes the target of an external force, a kind of creature who brings death to the occupants, and one amongst them has seen it coming. It's not bad really, definitely watchable. So there you are, that's what I've been looking at there. And now let's move on to the top 20. And this is from the 11th of May, and this top 20 has been given to me by Steve of Reflex DVD. And we have still at number 1, Exodus. That's a big job. I think it's 100. I think that's just over 2 hours. And then we have on number 2, Automata, which I still don't know a lot about. We have Foxcatcher, which is a thriller according to the video, and I actually looked at the back of it. And then we have Night at the Museum 3, The Usual Fare. Really, if you like the other two, yes, then this is for you. Then we have a film called Unbroken, and sadly I can't tell you too much about that. We go to Birdman, which I might have said something about. Then we got Badland, and then we come to this Zulu at number 8. And this one I just said was a detective thing, but it actually stars Orlando Bloom and Forrest Whitaker in a murder investigation in South Africa. So there you are, there's a little bit more to that one. And then at number 9 we have Annie. At 10 we have No Good Deed. At 11 we have The Pyramid, which I spoke about last week. The Hobbit is still in there with the Battle of the Five Armies. Peter Jackson still holding some way in the top 20. And then at 13 we come with Dumb and Dumber 2. And I can't say too much about that. You have to actually like the Dumb and Dumber series. And then we have The Signal at number 14. Gone Girl at number 15. At number 16, Before I Go to Sleep. And then at 17, Black Sea. 18, we still have Horrible Bosses 2 there. At 19, The Drop. And 20, that marvellous film, The Theory of Everything. Now we go on to my special review, which is, I've got 2 actually today. And that is Dracula Untold. This is a 15 certificate. It's 2014. Not thought of much by some, but if you're a vampire fan, it's one of those that must be in your collection. It stars Luke Evans as the evil Vlad Dracula, eager to destroy the Turks who are ruining everything. He is finally forced to accept the way of the vampire in order to defeat his enemy by going to Charles Dance, a creature of darkness. Dance doesn't do a lot at all in this film, strangely enough. The effects are superb, and the tale rather different, and it's set in 1462, and it's rather good. But I'm saying it's rather good, really, if you like vampires, then it's the one for you. We now move on to the Selsey off-license top 10, and this has been supplied by Andy. And he does old films and new films, some old favourites. So at number 1 of his top 10 we have Fury. At number 2, Where the Wild Things Are. 3, we have Escape from Planet Earth. 4, we have Paddington. At 5, The In-Betweeners 2. At 6, we have Interstellar. At 7, we have Thor. In position 8, we have Exodus, Gods and Kings. At number 9, Grown Ups 2. And 10, Ride Away. And Andy gave me a film to review, which was should be seen by many, and this is called Saving Mr. Banks, a film you should watch. It's a drama. This is 2014 and it's a PG. It stars Tom Hanks and Emma Thompson in a drama based on the real events of Walt Disney trying to get the rights to do Mary Poppins from the author P.L. Travers, which was not easy, and P.L. Travers actually disconnected herself from the Julie Andrews sugarly-coated perception of the character portrayed by Disney, and objected to the film. Emma Thompson plays the difficult lady, bringing Walt Disney to absolute exasperation. The film is absolutely absorbing and magnificently thought through, absolutely wonderfully. The characters are wonderful, and the 2 hours are well spent on this film. It's really a must for people who like to be entertained and left thinking about this subject. So get this out when you can. It's a damn good film. Yeah, this film is worth getting out if you can. Get along to Andy's and get 2 hours of real film. This is very good. We now go on to those kind of films that I kind of tend to say don't get out. And we start off with Weather Wars, Earth Under Siege, Jason London, Stacey Keach, Wes Brown. This is kind of a weather thing, storms and weather thing, and it has been done much better, very TV-ish. We then go on to Jack the Giant Killer with Ben Cross, and this is an asylum telling of Jack the Giant Killer, and it hardly resembles it. It's clumsily done, quite amateur. The trouble is with Asylum, they make the occasional good one, and the rest are pretty dire. We then go on to Five Souls, and this is average fare. It doesn't really make itself understood at all. He has to collect 5 souls for the devil, so if you see that one, don't really rush to go and get that one. And then we have a terrible thing called Boggy Creek 2, and the legend continues. That is something they dug up. That is pretty awful. And then we go to Grave Encounters 2, better effects, but still the silly stuff from Grave Encounters of poor camera work, judders, etc. So that's it for this week. Remember to go to Andy's and watch my favourite film of the week, the reviewed one. So that's it for now. And I shall say I shall see you next week. So bye for now.
And that's about it for this week. I'd like to say a great big thank you to Thea Foote and Mike Nicholls for coming in, and also to Irene Clark and Dave Casson for their insight into what goes on down at the old gardens. And nothing more than for me to say thank you very much to the rest of the team, which is production editor John Fletcher, and sound and all other things Dennis Cowan, and from myself, Keith Barnes, wishing you a good week and look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye for now. Bye.